All right, here we are after day 2, a long drive, but we're here up in Dawson Creek. We've never been here before. I'm here with Mayor Bumstead. We're toured a cool facility here earlier. Maybe you can tell us about your facilities here and what's going on in Dawson Creek.
Sure. So I had a chance this evening to see the Canada Event Center. It's a great multi-event center we've built, opened in about 2008, combined an aquatic center that we desperately needed, a new aquatic facility. We added into that when the design for an equestrian center carries 110 indoor stables, and then the major focus of the building is the event center, of which we have a 4,500 seat facility that we host and are part of a tour circuit that we're getting major events in our community that really has been a great addition to our community in a small city of 13,000 people to be able to host world-class entertainment in our community and draw residents from around the region, both in northeastern BC as well as northwestern Alberta, to come to see world-class entertainment in our community. So it's been a great addition to our community and a great facility for us to add those amenities and the quality of life for our residents.
Well, that's great, and we appreciate the tour. And we were talking earlier about the diverse economy here. Can you tell us what's going on to keep this town thriving?
So we're standing beside the railway tracks that came into this community in 1931. This was and is an agricultural-based community, and the railway, NER, Northern Alberta Railway, built the railway line in here in 1931. Started as a distribution point for agricultural products. 1942, the spring of 1942, what really exploded our community was after the Pearl Harbor bombings. The U.S. needed an overland route to Alaska, so 10,000 troops come into Dawson Creek on these almost at this exact point, and changed this community from 800 people to 10,000 people almost virtually overnight. From there, it became a transportation hub because of the geographic location. We got spin-off from forestry and mining and transportation and tourism. But now we're feeling the effects of the natural gas industry, the energy sectors. And so it really is a diverse economy that we face and have in our community. I'm very, very fortunate to have that diversity of opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's the first time we've actually seen grain elevators, right? Because we've been going through all these different communities with forestry and mining and all this. Now we see grain elevators as well as the other things. So one of the things that we see in the urban area is a lot of conversation about climate change and the effects of resource development. And how do we find that balance between a resource-based economy here in British Columbia, but also knowing that climate change is occurring?
You know, for all of us for us in this community, and you're born and raised here and you live resource development, that's what it's about, and forestry and mining and now natural gas energy. And so, you know, you really start to appreciate the impacts of how resource development, the wealth, first of all, the wealth generation that occurs for the economy. And the province of British Columbia has been a forestry province for 40 or 50 or 60 or 100 years. And so for us, I take the approach that I really think the approach that we look to is ensuring that we trust the regulatory processes that are put in place. And for us in the oil and gas business here, we have the Oil and Gas Commission, and they have the tight regulatory processes in place to ensure that we protect the water, the air, the environment. Because without that resource development, that's what drives us. That's what drives the economy. I use the example in 1998. People may not appreciate this, but in 1998 in the province of British Columbia, the largest number of millionaires per capita lived in the city of Prince George. And that was as a result of lumber and logging and forestry and the huge wealth generation that occurs from this resource development. And so I think unless you're involved in it, unless you live in it, unless you experience it, it's hard to believe how much of an impact it has on the economy of our province. And so for us as stewards there, we want to make sure that we pay attention to that. We pay attention to the regulatory processes that are in place, but ensure we work proactively to guide that development in a positive future for us all.
That's really interesting. So here we are. We're in Dawson Creek. We're a couple days from FCM. I know we'll see you there. But this is going to, hopefully a lot of our colleagues across the country will see our videos. And one of the questions we ask every elected official is, what's one piece of advice you'd give to your colleagues across this country?
You know, for me, honestly, this small community is, and our mantra of what we need to do is build a quality of life. Because without having solid core infrastructure, water, sewer, roads, without services like our facilities and recreational, arts and culture, why would people want to come to live in our community? And without those people, how do we develop the resources in a cost-effective manner to ensure that we are the lowest cost producer, competitive in the world market? So for me, that's what my challenge is. I think as a mayor in a small city is, how do we do it and build that quality of life so that people come and want to live in a remote location, a remote community, but has a great quality of life.
Well, there you go. Here we are in Dawson Creek, 2 days away from FCM. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you at FCM.
Thanks, Greg.